So in the previous videos, we have seen a basic C program and also a program where we have used multiple statements, also a program where we have used printf and scanf to take variable value from user, which you can see on the screen. So in this program, which you are seeing on screen, we have declared a variable inside the main function, and then after that, we have printed it along with a string hello. Now you can see here %d. This %d is nothing but format specifier. So what is format specifier? So whenever we use variables in C programming, the variables are not directly printed. We need to use format specifier to print the variable. So format specifier always starts with percentage sign followed by a letter. So it is a placeholder that tells C compiler what kind of value will be printed. So it's like a placeholder along with the string. In the string, we can say where you want to print what type of value you want, you can print along with string. So it's like a placeholder, and what type of value you are going to print along with the string is mentioned using this placeholder. So there are different format specifier for different types of data. For integer, it is %d. For float, it is %f. And for character, it is %c. So in this video, we will be seeing what is a variable. So in the last session, we have seen how to declare variable. So just we have used variable, but not about variables we have seen, but just we have seen how to print variable, how to take user input for variable we have seen. So now let's clear this. So this is the basic C structure of program. So we have here the first statement as include stdio.h. That is going to include standard input output header file in our program so that we can make use of printf and scanf functions in our program. Then we have the starting point of execution, void main. It is called starting point because compiler searches upon execution the main function, and whatever statements present in main, only that are executed. Now, what is a variable in C programming? So what I'm writing here is a comment. So these are called single line comments in C programming. The lines which you write after two slashes, two forward slashes, those are called single line comments. It will comment up to single line, and whatever is commented is not considered as code. It is ignored by the compiler. It is not executed. So just for providing description like this in your program, the comments are used. So these are single line comments which start with two slashes, and these are called multi-line comments which starts with slash asterisk symbol and ends with asterisk symbol and slash. Whatever in between we write is commented. So multiple lines we can comment in this manner. So here I'm going to define a variable in simple way. So variable, the very first thing is it is nothing but data identifier. So whenever you use any data value in your program to identify that data, you will be providing a name to that data. So that is called as variable. So in a more precise manner, precisely we can define it as a name given to memory location. So it is name given to memory location where the data value is stored. So it is name given to memory location where data used in program is stored. So this is the precise definition for variable. In simple, you can say it is data identifier. So whenever we declare a variable, we require data type to mention what type of data we are going to store in the variable. Then we use the variable name and then equal to symbol, and then whatever data element or value you want to assign, you can assign. Without assigning value also, just you can declare. So data type, variable name, and semicolon. So at the time of declaration, you can assign value like this. And here, without assigning value also, you can declare a variable, and later in the program, you can assign it just by using the variable name equal to data value. So according to requirement, wherever you want to assign value, you can assign. And whenever you are using variable, the variable should not start with a digit. So important things to remember is variable name, variable naming conventions I'm telling you, variable name must start with a letter or underscore. So must start with letter or underscore you can use to start a variable. It cannot start with digit. It cannot have white spaces. White spaces are nothing but any space you cannot give between the name. Like here, variable name. Suppose if I give int is the data type, suppose student name. So here, this is the variable name I want to use. But here I have given spaces. So this is going to create an error. Instead of space, you can use underscore. So you cannot have spaces in between the names in the variable. So it cannot have white spaces. Instead, you can use, sorry. So it cannot have white space. Instead, we can use underscore in place of white space. So these are some important points to remember while declaring variable. Now, whenever you print a variable, you use a format specifier. So that practically we will be seeing. So there are different format specifier for different data types. So I am going to here declare a variable stu name. So I'm not using any space. Student name I'm taking as variable, or let's take ID, student ID. And directly you can give value like this and print it using printf. So while using with printf, directly if you give student ID, it is not going to print it. It will give an error. So it gives error, passing argument 1 no, makes pointer from integer without a cast. So we need to mention the format specifier. So here you will be giving a string first. So printf is used for printing the strings. And along with string, if you want to print any other type of data, then that type format specifier you need to mention within that string. So here ID is %d. So ID is the string which is as it is printed, but %d here is the placeholder for integer value. Now after comma we give the variable, and value of this variable will be placed in place of %d. So now if I compile, I get 0 errors or warnings, and if I run, I get ID is 90. So this is how variable is printed using printf. Now if you want to just declare variable without assigning value, then you can declare it like this. You can also take the user input for this variable value, which we have already seen. So you can later also give value student ID equal to 85. Now if I compile and then run, then also I'm going to get this. Again, you can change the variable value like student ID equal to 90. Now I'm using the same printf statement. to print it. Now if I compile and then run, I'm going to get ID is 85 and then ID is 90. Now to get it in new line, every time you can write /n before starting with any printing. So /n will move the cursor to new line. So if I compile and run, then ID is 85, ID is 95 in two different lines. So this is how variable can be used in a C program. So in the last session, we have seen how to take value from user. Again, we will be seeing, let's use here printf, enter, sorry. So printf, I'm going to write here, enter ID. So when the user enters ID, so every statement must be ended with semicolon here. So I'm ending with semicolon. When the user enters ID, scanf, and then again using scanf, while using scanf, %d is given. Then it will scan and assign to address of student ID. So the variable name you should mention like this. Now we have the variable value which is taken from user. So I'm going to print it again. So first time we are assigning here the 85 and printing it. Second time assigning here 90 and printing it. Third time taking from user and printing it. So now let's first compile to check any errors. Now then run. So what we got, ID is 85. Now enter ID. So if I give 78, then I get ID is 78. Now you can start this enter also in a new line by writing /n like this. So every time /n if you write, it will move the cursor to new line. So execute, compile and run, enter ID 55, ID is 55. So you can see we have got the ID value in three different ways, like first time, directly also you can initialize like this. I modify like this or take from user like this. So this way variable can be used in a C program. So types of variables we will be seeing in separate session. So that's it for today. So thank you for watching the video. And in the next session, we will be seeing types of variables and also about format specifiers. So how to use different format specifiers while using different types of variables. So also we will be covering the basic data types of C programming. So thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel, as C series along with DSA is continuing on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe and stay updated with C and DSA concepts. Thank you.